Welcome back to Old Chronicle with your lovely host Pegs. It's me, guys. Last night, Algorithm Sundays episode. Very excited on the progress happening with Algorithm. Yeah, so if you didn't get to check that out. There's this interview Kickstart course that I'm running through and learning a lot doing it. So pretty excited for that. That's number one. Another thing is what else am I doing? There's this neat code or roadmap. He provides this like awesome roadmap. Let's see, roadmap. Boom. And what else do we have? So starting to run through some of these algorithms. These ones are huge kind of bigger algorithms, I'd say, especially between all their sorting algorithms that they initially had us all do. Is pretty intense. So it's nice to go through something like this where it's like, no, let's like get the real basics down and then build from that. Especially the way he teaches is really good for me. It just, I don't know, resonates really well. I think that's important to get a good teacher. So, but today we are going to just do a little half hour or so on the project management system. We're getting there. I'm kind of refining a lot of stuff, taking out a ton of the what happened there? We're taking out a lot of the stuff. I've deployed it and got the server deployed. I just wanted to probably hone down the things that are deployed, right? So you can notice immediately, like the sidebar, I've taken out a lot of the settings or navigation features. So I will absolutely reintegrate all these things, the timeline, the calendar. Let's see. FA quotes, I believe. A quote left, okay. And the FA question. So there's a ton of the application that's not being included with the three first bits that I want to, what's it called? Yeah, like all of these, I definitely want to have features as the application grows. But initially, I just want, and this will probably be the northern limit of things I want, and I might even combine some of these things, like the project's dashboard statistics page and the project management page. I might make one page where kind of all the things are just together, kind of like AWS style or something, where you can just scroll down and navigate through all of your stuff. But before including all these other additional things, the timeline component, the calendar component, the even the about page. The about page is fine, but I really want to, and a tutorial page as well. I do want to like record little YouTube bits and just show how to use the application. But before doing all that, I really just want to hone in and get like the meat and potatoes of the application really proper. So one thing is like the Kanban page. I wanted to make these things draggable, the tasks draggable. I think that'd be really easy, where you could just click and drag them over. That was kind of the original plan. So maybe we can build for that today and just kind of build a draggable test real quick. Let's just see how this might look on a proof of concept level. So I'll say base draggable, boom. It's gonna be the page for it, I guess. And let's see, boom. Let's see, draggable page. So I guess cooking a little bit of food in the oven right now. So I might have to get up midway if I smell it burning. It should be fine, but so we'll say draggable, boom. And let's pull up a page real quick and steal majority of our assets from the page that we, let's see, I guess that would have been easier to do. Okay, and there we go. It's a draggable page. Let's get rid of this one, don't need that. And sidebar, I'll just build a new thing just so we can navigate to it real quick. Should pop up here. And this will take us to our draggable page, which is gonna obviously be different than the other pages. I just want to get it where I can drag like a div. I don't want to rebuild the task and everything, but I just want to get it where I can drag a div to different columns, and I need to figure out how that's going to work, right? Reason being, because if I could do it again on like a POC level, just a simple thing that is easy to identify. Okay, this is what we need to do. This is what I don't need to do. It'll obviously work on a larger scale. Take a little shoulder work, a little, ironing things out, but But overall, we should be able to draggable divs together. So that's going to be the goal, is to build, I guess, 2 columns. Let's see how this goes. So I want them side by side. So I'll say flex and then gap x4 or something, and width full. Come on, go left and right, go left and right, go left and right. Why? Let's do flex row, boom. Okay, so that's perfect. Just something like this where, let's give them a little bit of height. So we have 2 columns or 3, no different than what we did, but the logic and all the stuff should be transferable amongst many columns. If I can get it between 1 and 2, I don't see why it wouldn't work for 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what I mean? That is the goal. We have our 3 columns, I guess. And let's do some research. So how to make draggable divs, or better yet, I will go to our trusty steed, ChatGPT. I guess we also need to build a div within it, the actual draggable div. Oh, this will be like our tasks, for instance. Guys, and I'm gonna make this for free, at least for like the first 100 users, if it's a usable product, obviously. Because for me, this is something I'm actually going to be using and have already started to tentatively use for projects and stuff. And then I'm gonna work on another project with a friend of mine. We're kind of ideating, had a few conversations about it, and we're gonna start building that new thing out in a moment. But I do need to kind of wrap this up, and then there's the Honeydew project I need to wrap up as well. So plenty of work to do, But yeah, it's gonna all make sense. I think when push comes to shove, it'll all pan out well. It just might take a little time, but I do want to add this as a free value offer for you guys. It's something like, oh crap, I could see why I would want to use this, and basically the idea of why I built this to begin with is because I don't like Jira, or I don't not like it. I definitely like it and it's fine, but I don't love it, right? Where it's hard to nominally track the completion of a project. It's hard to just kind of navigate stuff where I feel like it shouldn't be. Because at the end of the day, I really just want a to-do list of here's the projects that I'm building, and in this fashion, I can easily scroll through and say, okay, here's the project I'm building. I just want to see where I'm at with it, and what can I progress in this day. That's literally it. Just keep it super simple. Obviously, I want to get the team thing working as well, where multiple people can work on a project. But that's the core functionality. That's all I want to get just super honed in and really properly done. I think getting that done where it's you can easily get through projects, easily track your projects, easily just super friendly UI UX. Oh, so maybe I need to update some task modals or some creation modals, things like that. Just smaller stuff, but that's it. That's the product. I want it to be this more refined, simple version of Trello or Jira, because it's way too much going on, when end of the day, all you want to do is just track project completion. So it really should be this refined, what are we working on? Okay, how far are we in completing it? How much progress got done this week? That's it. You know what I mean? Don't need anything else, right? At least from my bird's eye view, I think it'd be a really, really, really effective thing. So let's just go ahead and kind of build this out real quick. We'll say columns to columns. We'll say column. So I'll say to do in progress. So these are just going to be the columns that I'm going to build out here. Instead of actually hard coding them, I'm just going to map through them. So column, boom, and I'll just take one of these divs. And this is going to be what we need. So it's throwing an error because we need a key in the div. Say key equals boom IDX, should take that error out, and now we have our columns, or should. And now we can remove these other columns, except for this draggable. This is going to be the only thing that I need to consider, is how do we get the draggable where it needs to be. Okay, let's think. So I could put it in here as well, but that's not really what we want to do. I guess we could update the object here where let's name flex. I guess we really want this flex call. So the title's on top, paste draggable, and this needs to be height full, I believe, something like that. Or, oh, that did work. Okay, cool. That's basically our column page. And we just want to do something where, how can I do this? How can I make this draggable? I'm thinking, I could set the index, right? So here I could say like index of tasks, right? But this doesn't feel like a permanent solution. This feels like a temporary, just kind of band-aid over what really needs to be built, because let's see, column index. I guess if this task would be like column index 0, and let's give this task a title. So task, I'm gonna say first task, my first task, or we'll make it relevant to this, build draggable div. Okay, boom. Basically the idea is if we have a task here, so task, and it's actually going to be this, boom. So draggable. Let's see if this is going to work. I know this is getting a little bit meta and potentially heady, where it's just like hard coding out 3 columns, but it's going to make sense, right? So columns dash tasks, or column dot task, excuse me. That's how it should be. That some obviously don't have it. So I can say this, I believe, column. Yeah, that should work, right? Column dot tasks, possibly undefined. Okay, let me at least push tasks into each object right here. So pretend this is like our data being stored, and maybe there's no tasks in these other columns. We're just gonna make it work with one task real quick. So this should show the task on the first column. Boom, there we have it. Now the question is, how do we drag it where we can drag and drop it to the next div? So I'm gonna just pop it into ChatGPT real quick. You make this draggable div where I can drag the div and drop it in another column. Okay, let's see if that works. So the idea is obviously we want to, obviously this is done many times on many websites. So I'm gonna also Google it, how to make draggable divs in, because there's like that snap grid effect too, where you like drop it and it like snaps to the right spot. So we have draggable divs into columns in JavaScript. How about this? I'll say, how do you make a draggable div into a column in JavaScript? So I think this is going to help a lot more. I can actually even say in React, so we don't have to deal with very much. So boom, drag and drop divs between, how to drag and drop in between divs in React.js. I tried implementing a drag and drop functionality in React.js. Boom, boom, boom. I almost completed it, but between existing divs. Because the other thing, we want the divs to like remain there, and then we can like stack them on top or below, things like that, you know. Okay, let's see, our trusty intern has constructed for us. Let's see, boom, boom, boom. Let's get that use client back in there. And then what is this drag and drop stuff? Okay, looks like I might need to install some of this stuff. Boom, let's try it out. npm install react drag and drop and app layout. Looks like we're missing a few of the things. Pull back our old deal. I'm using type TSX, boom. Okay, so hopefully it'll redo the deal. Item.index, why is this not? Is it because it's unknown? I think it'll be React, I think. React component element, potentially. No. All right, we'll just go trusty old any for right now. And monitor, we don't need it. So let's get it out. And why is this not, we need to run the server. Okay, let's see if this works. I would obviously like for this to be easy peasy to implement and integrate. I'd say it's obviously not very fun when you have to wrestle with stuff because there's so much stuff to build. So trying to get through as fast as possible. Let's see, build draggable div. So I guess it's draggable, right? But we need to be droppable as well. Was it always that way? No. Okay, that's new. Okay, so that's good. At least we can drag it. We could obviously make the cursor style. Looks like the grab, I think, or move is what it's called. Yeah, something like that. Either like the move or there's like the little hand grab. So we can mess with those little details, obviously, when it's dragging. Let's see. Build draggable div, move task, update columns. So I think this is going to be where it is. Set task, updated column, update columns, get all the columns. Let's remove task from the column it used to be in. It is not letting us do it. Okay, so what about set columns to update column at use state? I see. So, and this would basically be a function for us. We would fire off the API of like update the columns. So I might need to reconstruct the columns, unfortunately, but maybe that's a good thing. That's a good opportunity to clean some things up potentially. So not a huge deal. Task. Let's just get over hover item, accept item. Guys, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Meanwhile, I can maybe talk about some other stuff or stories or something. Let's see. What's a good podcast topic to talk about? The challenge of building something. How about that? You know, challenge of building stuff. I think is I've built a few things in my life. So something's successful, something's not. But there's always, I've noticed this a lot. Maybe some other people can relate to is when you're building stuff. I don't know if it's just me, but I get met with a lot of resistance whenever I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go achieve this new goal, no matter what it is, right? Like I've had it consistently throughout my life. Like I'm young, but I've got a few accolades now and a little bit of experience on different endeavors and industries of life. So I'll give an example. Like I was really bad out of high school. Like I did not have a great high school GPA. Like never took it serious. I come from an entrepreneurial family. Grades and studying and stuff was not like the biggest, push in my family at all. Like not even close. Oh, and this is common across all my siblings. Like none of us were like academically like, out of high school. Like no one got the 3.5s. No one was in AP classes really. So I took like one AP geography class in sophomore year. And I was always ahead in math, but like that was it. Like from what I understand from my family, like we were not pushed into academics very hard. And I think that's also possibly a good thing. There's kind of two sides to that coin too, where they say like the A students work for the B students work for the C students type thing, because the C students like figure out how to get by with like minimum effort, or I forget how the quote goes. So there's two sides to that coin, but point being is I was not a academically gifted child in my early years of my academia, right? Up until my high school diploma. And out of high school, I wanted to go to college. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should go to college. Maybe I should figure it out. And I didn't have very many offers. There was no, like nothing good going for me. I was good at lacrosse or decent at it. So I had like some mid-tier D2 schools that I could go play at. But I really didn't have like I was like maybe on the threshold of being like a walk-on of a D1 athlete, but I wasn't like this superstar, even though I worked really hard at lacrosse, it just wasn't, fully panning out for me. And the academics absolutely were not there. So out of high school, I wanted to go to college, and I literally, it was like a goal of mine. It was like, hey guys, I set this new goal for myself. I want to go to college. And I got so much resistance. People, you're so dumb. Like, there's no way you're going to do it. All this stuff, all of it, right? Like I literally had a school counselor saying like, don't do it. Like it's just a waste of your time. Like you're not one of those, you know what I mean? Like don't go to school. So it was just like gnarly, And in my head, it was never I was dumb, right? In my mind, at least, right? I was never like, okay, I can't do this stuff. It was always a matter of I just never really cared. I never really applied myself. It wasn't anything more than that. Guys, hold on. Let me finish the story. I need to grab this thing out of the oven real quick. Hold on. She just need a little rotate. So I'll need to get up again in a moment to go get it out of the oven. But it was literally one of those things, like just did not seem really like I might have graduated with like a 1.6 GPA, like bad, you know what I mean? Like not good. For those who take the ACT, I know there's the SAT and the ACT. I went to school in Colorado, so I took the ACT. The ACT is out of 36, and like you have 4 sections. You get like your science, math, reading and writing, or reading and English, and then you could take the writing as an additional kind of 5th bonus thing. But literally, in my English section, I got a 10 out of 36. Like horrible, right? Like not the academic type, right? So it seemed unrealistic that I would go to college. I'll put it that way. And I was dating this girl at the time, and she was like the opposite, like really academically talented, had a scholarship to go to CU Boulder for engineering, like all this stuff, right? And just hardworking girl, right? Where did all the extracurriculars, all of that stuff. And she's like, she was like a huge part to why I went to college, because she went to Boulder. A lot of my friends went up to see you, and it was just like, oh man, I got left in the dust. It felt like I didn't realize, like, like everyone leaves and goes to college, and I had nothing going for me realistically. 2 weeks before the semester starts, I end up going to school, and I choose, to go to community college, because my choices basically were go play lacrosse at Adams State, which is this college down in Alamosa, Colorado, and we called it Adams State Penitentiary because it just like felt like a prison when me and my brother visited. It was like, no, not going here. But yeah, so it was one of those things where, and one of my brother's amazing friends went there too, and he's like, don't come down here, just don't do it. So basically my decision was like, all right, I'll go to community college, and I went to community college up in a school called Front Range Community College, and they had like 4 campuses. I forget where all 4 of them are, but the 2 I went to, one was in like Boulder, like near Boulder, just outside of Boulder, and then the other was north of Denver. I forget the city, like Broomfield or something. Needless to say, it wasn't like moving into a dorm and you're having the fun college experience. It's like, no, you're going to a community college, and it's still an amazing thing though too. Like I really appreciated that experience in life. But I go to this community college, for the first semester of my college career, and it's going, as good as it can go. Like I'm working my tail off. I'm showing up to extra office hours. I'm taking all the things. So I did really bad in English, but I'm really good at math and science. Like that's the part I left out in the story. I did decent on my math and science sections. I think it was like 24 in the math and 28 in science, I think, on my ACT. So I was like smart at some parts, but like really not smart at the other parts. And so I took all these classes in science. There was one in business and then one in English, I believe. The English one, the credits didn't count because it was like one of those, like, we need to just get you on basic English because I just did so bad, it was not good. But the other credits all counted for my college career, and I did really well. I got a 3.86 GPA. I got all the A's and 1 B+, and I was pumped. I was like, living on cloud 9, like, okay, all this hard work worked. Like I was driving to night classes, showing up in the morning. I would stay up at my girlfriend's dorm and then leave from there, go to the Boulder Front Range campus. So it was just like a lot of work. It was, just a steady grind of academic performance. And I got a 3.86 GPA, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like I really applied myself, and I actually did well. And from there, with all that momentum, I'm trying to apply to schools. I applied to CSU, I applied to CU. I don't get in. I don't get into those schools. They're like, hey, we need your high school transcript and your new college performance. We saw your high school transcript. We don't know if it's going to cover for your college performance. And, and that sucked, obviously, right? It's like, oh, dang, like I worked hard, like really hard this semester so I could show up and come to college, properly. And it didn't work. So then I applied to a school called University of Northern Colorado up in Greeley. And I got in, and I was pumped on it. Like I was so happy and grateful that I at least got into there, where it was, this new school, new experience. And that was where, again, I just did the same thing where, and there's a story about that too, where, first weeks I show up, it's like a whole new change. You're moving out of the house, you're going to college. It's a whole new change, and it's kind of not the same college experience that my buddies are having. At college, they're talking about their fun classes, little frat parties. In Greeley, it was like not that. It didn't feel that way at all. It was very much like, oh, I'm just here for school, and I'm just grinding to the next level. Like, let's go. It was not like this school, and it's an amazing school, by the way, too. Like, it is a truly amazing school. You can get a phenomenal education there. But for me, it was just one of those things of like, all right, I showed up and I actually tried to leave the 2 weeks in. I had my Front Range community college classes lined up for the second semester of my freshman year as a backup plan, so I could like leave Front Range or leave UNC if I needed to go back to Front Range and just like do round 2 of the same thing I just did. I inevitably go to UNC, and the first week I go there, I'm like actually trying to leave. I'm like, okay, no, this is not for me. I don't like it. It's miserable. Like I feel like the place I was living certainly was. It was solid. It was great. It was just like, you know, maybe not the best. And I actually tried to leave UNC, but before leaving, I'm like, okay, let me just make sure that my backup plan was still there with Front Range, all those classes. So I call Front Range. I'm like, hey guys, I think I'm gonna come here for the second semester. And they're like, oh, you can wait till next semester, like next fall or the summer, because we canceled all your classes. You're not there the first 2 days for orientation. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what is this all about? What are you talking about? What do you mean my classes are canceled? They're like, yeah, you know, you have to show up the first 2 days. Otherwise, yeah, we drop you from the programs. And I'm like, it's the first 2 days, it's syllabus, you know, and I'm like crushed because I'm like, plan B has just completely fallen apart. And I'm like, you know, trying to negotiate with their admin over there, and it's not going well at all. They're like, no, like you can't just do that. You if you sign up for classes, you need to show up. Otherwise the class moves on without you. And I get this gutting feeling of like, okay, I'm gonna have to be at UNC. And this is like comical looking back, because it's like, oh, I have to go to college. But I was like, man, you know, and it was so just hard for me the first 3 to 4 weeks. I was playing lacrosse there, but I like wasn't really getting along with a lot of people, and not to the people are amazing there, but I was just really like not having a fun time. And I think about the 4th week is when stuff started to change, and all I did, I would just go to class. I'd wake up, do homework, go to class, go to lacrosse, go to the library after lacrosse, go home, go to sleep, and like rinse and repeat. That was like my whole, just had that routine down, where I'd wake up, do homework, study for tests, you know, crush school, come home, you know, crush some homework, and then go to lacrosse, come back to the library after lacrosse, and just do like pushing myself to the absolute limit of studying and joining study groups. And I had this math group that we were really good at. Like we'd all meet up and do our math homework, and it was in calc, and you know, the whole thing was coming together. You know, I get my first test back probably 4 or 5 weeks in, and I'm crushing it, like just straight A's across the board. And I just keep that momentum up the whole time. Like the whole time I'm there, I'm just like crushing it, doing the extra office hours, you know, joining more study groups, being consistent with it, showing up to the library, you know, just literally head to toe crushing it. And out of UNC, I get my very first 4.0, head to toe, straight A's, top to bottom, straight A's, like, and I was so pumped. Like it was a semester of so much hard work and diligent work, and like having been so miserable initially to like making it really happen. And I was so proud of myself, because mind you, this is all in context of a year. It's like you just graduated high school with a 1.6 GPA. A year later, by the end of your semester at UNC, I now just crushed a 3.86 and a perfect 4.0. And it's like, you know what I mean? I'm on cloud 9. Like you average those two things, yeah, that's like what, 3.93 or something? Like doing pretty good, you know what I mean? Like feeling pretty good on myself academically, and back of my head just like, that's what I thought, teachers, you know what I mean? You called me stupid, not a chance. Friends called me stupid, not a chance. Like, no, I don't think so. And moving forward, I apply to CU finally, you know, get all my letters of recommend, you know, all the academic things that I was making sure to check off while I was at UNC, like checking off, okay, I need this to transfer, you know, all the transcripts, everything, just going through the checklist of transferring over to CU. And I inevitably get there, you know, so I apply to CU, and it's like one summer day where Oh, and I write a paper. The girlfriend I was dating at the time, her mom actually helped me write the paper because I was, again, just dog awful at English. Still this whole time. So good at science, good at econ, good at math, you know, but like still the whole time not crushing English very well. So I just gravitated to my strengths of like, you know, the science, chem lab, econ class, calc. Psychology was one class I took at UNC, and then there's one more. Did I say econ? So it was chem lab, calc, psychology, and econ. Those were the 5 classes I took at UNC. So power through, you know, and the girlfriend's mom, she helps me write this paper, just so sweet. Like I owe her family so much for academically getting me to CU and helping out this entire process and kind of being my support system. Because the whole time they're like, no, we knew you could do it. We believe in you.